I know as a man, as a lot of us, we are like mentally exhausted, psychologically, emotionally, we don't tire because of how badly the team they play. And most of us will never really, we will not accept and say, as a big team like us, we are a mid-table team. And that's the truth. That's where we are currently. For the past 2 seasons, we have been a mid-table team. The season before last, we finished 8th. The last season, we finished 15th. This is the third season running. We are currently in the same position we finished last season. So most of us we've not accepted the fact that we are bad. We've been bad for years, and to actually change this whole scenario, first of all we need to accept the reality of where we are, so that we can know, okay, this is where we are now. This is where we are. We are now at the bottom of the bottom. So let's try and build up from where we are and start building him step by step. Because we cannot just catapult from the bottom to the top. It's not possible. It happens, but I don't think it will ever be possible for a team like Manchester United because of the kind of players that we have. They are so low in terms of mentality. They are not willing to fight. Once the game is out of hand, they give up so easily. That's the team that Manchester United currently have now. And there's nothing we can do about it but to accept that, okay, majority of these players has to go. And it's not going to happen in just 1 summer, 2 summers. No. Since Ineos came, I think this past summer was their second transfer window. The January transfer window was the first. So the summer window was their first summer window. And how many players? I mean, okay, 2 summer windows. For the first one was Erik ten Hag, and this other one. That's 2 summer window plus the January. That's approximately 3 transfer windows. When Ten Hag was still in jail, was still in the helm of Manchester United, Ineos bought 5 players. If I'm not mistaken, it was 5 players. But the coach that he brought in, because of his style of play, his philosophy, and has a different way of formation, and he needs to have a certain type of player to play his formation. You refuse to back him in 2 transfer windows. So he has to deal with a lot of useless players that we have. Let me not use the word useless, because useless is a strong word. But players that are not really willing to work, to put in the shift, to actually change, as long as they're in Manchester United, because of the toxic culture that has been in Manchester United for years. I've gone online, and I think during the past week or two, where some players that has left Manchester United are currently doing well in their parent club, and some people are throwing Manchester United at the issue. Yes, being a Manchester United fan, yes, contribute to them not hitting the height of their full potential. I'm not arguing that, but the players themselves are still part of that, because they are not giving as much as they are giving currently in their current club as they were in Manchester United. Let's say Rasmus, for example. Rasmus scored 2 goals against Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. And some of the runs that he made, some of the finishes that he did, if he was in Manchester United, he would not make those runs. If he was in Manchester United, he would not score those goals. We all know that. We've watched Rasmus for years, and we know how he is. Whenever Rasmus is playing, it's like he's fighting a defender. Is that what he's supposed to do? Even Kevin De Bruyne has said the same thing. Then Rasmus has to run a lot. He should stop coming for the ball, which he usually does. As a top 9, you have to stretch the pitch. We know Manchester United players, they don't often create chances for the attacker, and we've seen it with Benjamin Sesko. The guy has been starving for opportunity, because they don't create chance for the opportunity for the striker. So you as a striker, you need to adapt to the surrounding that you are in. I understand that. So maybe the Manchester United effect is still affecting him. I get that. But this is not down on the coach alone. This is down on the players. If Manchester United is to change, the players themselves has to change. The owners themselves have to change. Because changing the manager currently now, it helps nobody. It helps nobody with the rebuilding. It's like we're back to square one. The next manager that comes in still come and meet the same surrounding, the same toxic culture, and the same cycle will go on. In the next 1 year or two, we'll still be talking about how we want to change this current the next manager. Why the same set of players are still there? That's how it is. Of course, Ruben Amorim has made a lot of mistakes with some of the players some of the changes, some of the players that he starts, and some of his substitution. He has not helped himself. Don't get me wrong. You can blame the manager, also blame the coach at the same time. It's a valid argument. I'm a big fan of Ruben Amorim, and I want him to succeed in Manchester United. But at the same time, sometimes he makes silly mistakes. And of course, as human, you are supposed to make mistakes. But as a Manchester United coach, currently under pressure, there are some silly mistakes you are not supposed to make. Because once you make those mistakes, the media, the toxic fans comes for your head, and they comes with gun blazing. So starting Shaw, starting Dalot, starting being there and Maguire, even Ugarte, those are his choices to make. And if he keeps making them, he will keep on have to deal with the amount of criticism that he gets from the media and the fans, and some of the fans anyways. Because those players are not supposed to be in Manchester United in 2025. Let's all be honest. They are not good enough. They might go to another club and excel, of course. We've seen other players that have gone to other clubs and excel. But they just couldn't excel in Manchester United, even though they've been here for years. And that is not the fault of the coach. It's the fault of the players themselves. They cannot handle the pressure of the shit. That has nothing to do with the coach. That has nothing to do with the club. It has to do with them, with their mentality, of how low their mentality is. So if people fail to realize that, then it's on them. It's not on anybody else, but it's on them.